During the Renewal Summit on Station Unity, the Veyran Ascendancy and Terran Federation were negotiating terms of their 5-year alliance extension. The Veyran delegation was led by Princess Seraphina Starborn, third daughter of the High Matriarch, and one of her people's most accomplished diplomats. The Veyrans believed that significant relationships were determined by forces beyond conscious choice, that individuals meant to connect would recognize each other through intuitive understanding, transcending rational explanation. The Terran delegation included military advisors, economic specialists, and cultural liaisons. Among them was Dr. Chen, a xenoanthropologist whose role involved helping human negotiators understand Veyran cultural contexts and avoid unintentional offense. Marcus had studied Veyran culture for years, understood their belief in destined connections intellectually, but had never directly witnessed how these recognitions manifested in practice. During a scheduled break, Princess Seraphina approached Marcus in one of the station's observation lounges. She dismissed her attendants, suggesting what she needed to say was personal rather than diplomatic. They moved to a more secluded area, and Seraphina spoke words that Marcus's academic understanding told him were profoundly significant. "I have experienced the recognition. You are my destined companion, the one with whom I am meant to build my future. By the laws and customs of my people, I must inform you of this truth. You will be the father of my children, human." Marcus's brain essentially stopped processing. His academic knowledge provided context. The recognition was their term for intuitive certainty about significant relationships. But understanding intellectually was completely different from having an alien princess tell him he was going to be the father of her children. His first response was to assume cultural misunderstanding. "Your Highness, I think there may be a miscommunication. I'm a cultural liaison, I'm not here as any kind of romantic prospect." Seraphina's expression made clear she understood exactly what she'd said and meant every word. Seraphina's response was patient but firm. "There is no miscommunication, Dr. Chen. The recognition does not care about diplomatic convenience or professional boundaries. I have spent 3 days in your presence during these negotiations, and the certainty has grown with each interaction. You are meant to be my partner, my companion, the one with whom I build family." She paused, vulnerability cracking through formal composure. "I understand this is shocking from your cultural perspective. Humans engage in courtship, in gradual relationship building. My people do not. When the recognition occurs, we acknowledge it and proceed from that foundation. I tell you this now because my culture requires honesty about such recognitions, and because you deserve to know that I will be pursuing you as my future mate." Marcus was still processing, trying to reconcile academic understanding with reality. "What happens if I don't reciprocate this recognition, if I can't feel what you're describing?" Seraphina's answer carried both certainty and sadness. "Then I will honor your choice, but I will remain certain of what I have recognized. The recognition is not always mutual immediately. Sometimes one partner knows before the other. If you never come to that understanding, I will respect it. But I do not believe that will be necessary. You are my destined companion, Marcus Chen. Time will prove this to both of us." The rest of the summit became complicated. Princess Seraphina didn't change her professional behavior during formal negotiations. She remained focused on alliance terms. But during breaks and informal gatherings, she consistently sought Marcus out, engaging him in conversations ranging from philosophical discussions to personal questions. She wasn't pursuing him aggressively. She was demonstrating through accumulated interactions that her recognition was based on genuine compatibility rather than random impulse. Marcus found himself drawn to these conversations despite initial shock and resistance. Seraphina was brilliant, surprisingly funny when not performing diplomatic roles, and beneath royal composure carried vulnerabilities that made her seem less like untouchable princess and more like person navigating impossible pressures. Over 2 weeks, Marcus began understanding what Seraphina meant about recognition, not as mystical destiny, but as profound compatibility that becomes apparent when two people communicate honestly and discover their thoughts align naturally. He still wasn't sure about the "father of my children" declaration, still processing cultural differences between Veyran certainty and human caution. But he could no longer dismiss Seraphina's recognition as arbitrary. She recognized something real about their potential compatibility, and time was proving her instinct correct. The complication intensified when summit negotiations reached critical points, and it became clear that their developing relationship was creating perception problems. Veyran advisors were concerned their princess was pursuing a human with insufficient status. Terran negotiators worried Marcus's objectivity was compromised. Both delegations demanded clarification. Was this serious courtship needing formal acknowledgement, or personal matter kept separate from diplomatic functions? Seraphina addressed both delegations jointly with characteristic directness. I have experienced the recognition regarding Dr. Chen. By Veyran custom and law, this means he is my destined partner, and I will pursue formal bonding regardless of diplomatic complications. I understand humans prefer gradual courtship and mutual agreement. I respect Dr. Chen's right to that process, but I will not hide what I have recognized. She turned to Marcus. You have not yet accepted what I have told you. I see your uncertainty, your rational mind arguing against certainty that seems irrational. I am not asking you to abandon your need for process. I am asking you to remain open to the possibility that what I recognized immediately, you might come to understand gradually. Marcus, standing before both delegations, spoke with honesty that probably ended his career as neutral cultural advisor. 2 weeks ago, Princess Seraphina told me I would be the father of her children. It was shocking, but I've discovered something terrifying. She might be right. Not because of mystical destiny, Marcus continued, but because she's brilliant, kind, funny, carries impossible burdens with grace I can barely comprehend, and somehow sees in me qualities worth building a future around. I don't have Veyran certainty. I have human caution and doubt, but I'm not going to dismiss what she's offering just because it doesn't fit the relationship timeline I expected. He looked directly at Seraphina. You said you recognized me as your destined companion. I can't claim that level of certainty yet, but I can say that I recognize you as someone extraordinary, someone I want to know better, someone whose presence has felt more right than anything else I've experienced. If that's enough for now, if you can accept human uncertainty alongside Veyran recognition, then yes, I accept whatever this is between us. The political fallout was immediate and complicated. Marcus's role as neutral advisor was compromised, requiring reassignment. Seraphina's pursuit of a human with no royal lineage created succession complications, but the personal resolution was clear. They began formal courtship under both Veyran and human customs, honoring both her certainty and his need for gradual understanding. Months later, after returning to their respective homeworlds to manage complications of their increasingly public relationship, they spoke via subspace communication. Marcus said something that made Seraphina smile with pure joy. You told me I would be the father of your children. At the time, it sounded like claiming or prophecy. Now I understand it differently. You were trusting me with your future, offering me something precious and letting me decide if I was brave enough to accept. I didn't have your certainty then. I barely have it now. But I know that I want that future you described. Seraphina's response carried warmth of patience rewarded. The recognition told me you were my destined companion. But you have taught me that destiny manifests differently across cultures, for my people through immediate certainty, for yours through accumulated choice and gradual commitment. We are arriving at the same place through different paths, and that journey is making our bond stronger than if we had simply both possessed instant certainty. You will be the father of my children, Marcus Chen. Not because I declared it, but because you chose it. And that choice makes it more precious than any recognition alone could provide.